Black Supremacy's Nattyisisyah. Join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. Like this video, share it, subscribe it, and also check out King Noble's video. So I want to talk about Nature Boy and what happened down there in Costa Rica with Melanation. And I want to talk a little less about that, actually. I want to talk more about the response videos that I see floating around and just the general tone that's resonating through the conscious community and the conscious vultures, you know, those who surround it, who say they're not a part of it, but, you know, can't seem to talk about anything else other than it. Or, you know, because what I notice is that what happened with Nature Boy, it's not just an awakening that he's going to have to come to grasp with or to grips with. You know, he's going to have to realize that, yes, Babylon is everywhere, and, you know, you can't live in a fantasy world, and that there are the people who he thought was in his corner are not, and those people who he fought against the most are really all he pretty much has in, you know, speaking in his defense, are just really understanding what he's going through. Because everybody else right now, it's a free-for-all for them to make fun of, to laugh, to ridicule, and to basically, you know, wag their finger and say, oh, well, I told you so, you know, and just make a joke, just make a mockery out of him. And, you know, it's really sad to see in a certain sense, because a lot of people who came into the conscious community, I know for myself, you know, obviously I wasn't like trying to join the conscious community. I didn't sign any paperwork. I didn't enter the conscious community through no back doors or no front doors or no any type of door. But you get what I'm saying? You come into the conscious community with a certain type of mindset. So, you know, you do have a lot of people saying, nah, they're not a part of it. But that's because they don't understand why it is in the first place that you would even ever associate yourself with something called the quote-unquote conscious community. But you're here for a reason, for those of us who still want to hold on to any resonance or remnants of anything called consciousness. You're here because you believe that there is something greater that we can achieve as far as freedom, liberation, and just being able to do what it is that you want to do, being able to manifest things, being able to create, being able to just live without so much pressure on your consciousness, your heart, and your state of being affecting you on a daily basis. You know, you want to feel as though you not only just feel, but you want to know that there is somebody else, whether they are halfway across the world, that they understand what you're going through, and that they themselves are working towards a solution that can bring about a change that is harmonious, not only to you as an individual, but to a greater you, to a greater us, to a greater we, right? So when I hear people say they are not part of the conscious community, it sounds a little selfish. It sounds a little, you know, ignorant. You know, obviously they don't get that core unity factor. They just don't get that awakening. They didn't have that same type of awakening as those who might quietly still be part of the conscious community. But with this Nature Boy thing, I think this is a turning point. I think this is a major key factor, key point in where we go from here, because now we're seeing once again just how vicious and brutal and how close to home that this tyranny that is upon the earth can hit. But it's so sad right now that the message, the underlying message in the conscious community is going to have to proceed in such a way where we're going to have to take everything that happened, take it all into account, everything that happened with Nature Boy, take everything that people are saying, all the naysayers, all the backbiters, all the Judases. We're going to have to take that all into account and go forward in a way that is beneficial still, not only to you as an individual, but to the greater we as an individual, for those of us who still consider themselves part of the enlightened, awakened, conscious, who still care, who still have a vision of a greater way of living here. Because everybody else I hear, and this is the part that is so disheartening, everybody else that I hear, except for, of course, King Noble and a few others, Black Olay, but everybody else, they have let Nature Boy and his ignorance and his lower self affect their lower self to the point that they agree with the beast, they agree with the system, they agree with the greater lower self, the true root chakra in its negative or its non-compassionate, its pain, its fear resonance. A lot of you agree with what has occurred to that extent. You agree to the point of turning your finger on Nature Boy and whatever he might have said to you. He called a lot of people bitches. He's hung up the phone on me in a live call for asking him a question. It's on my channel. He said a lot of things that may offend people, hurt them, rub them the wrong way. But none of what he said was worth him getting brutalized at, or not just him, but the entire melanation camp. So a lot of you are just trying to find a way to justify not dealing with your own ego, not dealing with your own issues, not coming to grips with just how real and how brutal that this system is, that you think it can't happen to you because you got your tags and you got your passport, or you up to date, and you're paying your taxes and you're paying your rent and you're an American citizen and you're a law-abiding citizen and you do what you're supposed to. The cops say put your hands up, you put your hands up. He say bend down and kiss his shoe, you gonna bend down and kiss his shoe. He say bend over and take this in the rear, you gonna do what the cops say, because it's the cops and this the system. So you gotta listen to the beast, sign that smiley face, and let them know just how much you liked it. That's really how you all sound right now. It's just like so disgusting. It's like it's worse than anything Nature Boy could have said to me. I think a lot of you all are just reacting. You all are reacting just as much as Nature Boy did. Nature Boy had a panic attack in their vehicle. He knew he didn't have his papers, yeah. But part of him going down to Costa Rica was not so he could go down there and buy a house. You knew that. I know that. He knew that. Everybody knew that. Part of Nature Boy going down there was not so he could have a vehicle with up-to-date plates and proper tags. Everybody knew that. I didn't hear anybody really, you all weren't online on YouTube, on Facebook, making it a point of duty before he got accosted and arrested to, shout out how much his plates was in up to date and all that. But now in the man's time of need, everybody is throwing a party, having a blast, having a ball, watching this man go down. He can't, right at this point, he can't even see the videos right now. He doesn't even have a phone. You don't even know if he's alive or dead, and you all are already casting your lots. So a lot of you are really sick. You're really sick. And I could see why not only getting away from Babylon would be necessary, but getting away from a lot of you. A lot of you. And a lot of you are the so-called righteous ones. A lot of you are the so-called, you proclaim to be the truly enlightened or awakened. You get me? But you all agree with each other. All of you agree with the parents. You agree with the news. You agree with the police that whooped his ass. You agree with the cracker who bailed on him. How is it that everybody come from all these different walks of life, but everybody agrees that Nature Boy deserved to get his ass whooped in Melanation? Not only should they have got their ass whooped, but Nature Boy should have got beat worse. He should have died since he said he was willing to die. He should have died. That's how y'all feel. And it's cool. It's cool to you because you think you're in a free country. And you think you're free. So if you're free, to hell with anybody else who doesn't think they're free and wants to be free and goes out to pursue their freedom. How do you think change comes? What he did could very well send ripples through the world. So like I could just throw up all over YouTube right now with how sick I am at seeing all of you agreeing and cheering on the police and just laughing and just enjoying. And I know this is not even just for the views. If it was just for the views, it would be one thing. But I know some of you deep down in your heart are just that cruel and that vile and really agree with this system that much, to the point you don't even have a solution to offer. You don't even have an alternative, what he could have done other than to just comply, obey, follow orders. Because that's what you're doing. So really, all that other stuff you're talking about being spiritual and communicating with the ancestors and working with the crystals and working with the chakras and doing all this other stuff, you could just let that go. Because why would we need to do any of that? Why would we need to communicate with the ancestors to figure out how we gonna be a slave for another 400 years? Why would we need to work with these crystals to figure out how you gonna pay rent so you can house these crystals in your house? Why would we need to meditate if they gonna knock the shit out, knock your senses out of your head? You get me? Why are you all putting on this front? You're on the fence so much. It's just too many people on the fence. And this is creating too many problems. Because it's one thing if you see what's going on and you say, okay, well, that was he could have de-escalated the situation, and it didn't have to go down like that, and what they did was wrong. Let me see what I could do to help out. But no, you put all your feelings in front of you and you be like, oh well, he said this about the black woman. Or, he said this about the black man, or, he did this to so and so, and, oh, he's a cult. He's mean, he's angry, he yells and he shouts. He spent $300,000 or whatever. Have any of you ever tried to do anything for anybody outside of your immediate family, friends, relatives, neighborhood, for a complete stranger that you've never met, except for a few brief conversations online? A lot of you are so selfish that you wouldn't even know how much it costs to even begin to argue and ridicule that fact. There's a lot of people living off the grid. Y'all, in fact, a lot of you wouldn't even know what off the grid and living outdoors in nature was if it was not for the internet. So to even ridicule him about that, you wouldn't even be aware of that if it wasn't for the internet. And for people who live off the grid, outdoors in the wood, and have a cell phone in their pocket. Because yes, there's satellites and there's cell phone towers all over the world, all over the place. So a lot of, that's your ignorance. You equate being free with damn near being a caveman, because you don't believe. You don't even know. I have to use the word believe, but because you don't even believe, you can't even fathom, you can't even dream, because that's not your goal, that's not your dream. But you cannot even dream that we could possibly be more superior and advanced, quote unquote, civilized beings. And I use that word loosely because of the historical connotation attached to it. But you don't believe in your own potential. You are not a visionary, and we supposed to trust you, we supposed to follow you, we supposed to comply like you and just be like you and be like everybody else in America, just getting their ass whooped, paying tax, just going to the oven. That's in it. They're already telling you what America's gonna look like. It's going to become, at this rate, Nazi Germany, and you all are just going to be like, well, yeah, you should have just opened up that oven door and walked in there like, Kanika Johnson, and just, who cares what happens after that? Because that's how you all come across. Is like, just go into that oven, go into that FEMA camp, like, just a lot of you very just cold-hearted. But you say that you work with the ancestors, and you say that you're older and wiser, and you say that you got all this wisdom and all this knowledge. But how you handle this situation, how you deal with it, and yeah, those are your viewers and your audience and everything, whatever, who cares? But just me seeing it, it's kind of, it has me like, oh, okay. So why am I subscribed to all these people again? So I could all hear them have the very same. I mean, usually I subscribe to people to hear a difference of opinion, to hear another point of view. But when too many people start sounding alike, that's a problem. So I want to know, like, is there anybody who does not agree with what happened down there? Who, yeah, Nature Boy said some things that, weren't the kindest, weren't the most friendliest, wasn't necessarily even true. Wasn't even righteous, as, a lot of you will go by. But who doesn't agree that he should have just signed the papers and should have just walked out, what else was he going to do? It was gonna be some bullshit anyways. We know that. They was gonna probably deport his ass anyways. He more than likely knew that. I mean, they came on the bus with a binder with his name on it. In the binder, they were naming people all. So that wasn't just a traffic stop. I don't know if all y'all didn't recognize that or didn't get that part, but go back and watch the video. They came on that bus and he started naming names. How did he have Eligio Bishop? How did he know Eligio Bishop? How do you know that? He said he wanted to speak with 6 people and 6 people only. Eligio Bishop. He started turning pages. So I think it's something deeper than just a traffic stop with some tags. But y'all wouldn't care about that anyways. So I'm in this video right here. This is Nattyisisyah. Join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. Check out King Noble's videos on this Nature Boy situation on his YouTube at King Noble Guru. Also subscribe to his page. Check out Black Ole's video at Black Ole on YouTube. And also on the website, we have some other content on this issue up there. So definitely go to the website kingnobleuncensored.com. Peace.